Here it is. That was it. Oh! Howdy folks, good day to you. 2005 Ford Expedition 5.4 liter V8 3 valve, and I'm walking onto this job kind of halfway through. One of the other fellows was working on it and he's getting a little stumped, so he kind of passed it on to me. So that's what I'm going to check out. I understand this car has piles and piles of trouble codes in it, involving the variable valve timing, the what else was in there? Something about the electronic throttle control, O2 sensors are all inoperative, all the heaters are inop. It's got like a mass airflow code, it's got a doodly-doodly-doo code, it's got a check engine light, it's got a flashing OD button, and there's a fuse that my cohort has found that continues to blow up when the key is on. So we're gonna go figure out which fuse that is, identify it, and then see if we cannot find the short that is opening up that fuse. Now, I haven't figured out what that one does yet, other than go doodly-doo, but I do believe that most of the affected components that I mentioned that are coded, all of the O2s, the electronic throttle, the camshaft timing system, I think all of that stuff is powered off of this fuse that is opening up. So let's go identify the fuse, see what's going on with it, see if we can't find the short, and then we'll go from there. So while I play catch up, I'll throw the scan tool in the truck because I'm going to need that later. Just real quick, let's take note that we've got a brand new battery in here. It's got a new ECM already. It came in with this. I'm assuming it's been programmed properly. So let's just assume this stuff is in good working order and we'll move on to try to find that short. All right, let's see what we've got here on the floorboard. Not mine. Here's some tools. Let's get that stuff out of the way. We've got a bunch of fuses here. What are these? They're all 15 amp minis. These are all blown and open fuses. So those are our fuses from previous testing attempts. All right, so when I got here, I found a power probe and I went ahead and hooked it up. It's powered on. Now this thing, I'm not gonna operate the probing feature, but it is, it will tell me if I have power or ground at any of these fuses. You've got a higher pitched. That's our power pitch. And then here's our ground sound. Fuse number 32. That's at the top of this panel. That's the one that blows up. So we're gonna reach in here and probe 32 real quick just to confirm that. There's our power tone. There's our ground tone. So that's that 15 amp up top, fuse slot 32. Let's pull it out and verify that it's blown up. And hope y'all can see. Yes, that is a blown up open fuse. So that's our fuse in question. Now let's go ahead to the diagram and see what that fuse powers. So all data, 2005 Ford truck, Expedition 2-wheel drive with a 5.4. Okie dokes, I'm here back at the diagram. I do have the diagram printed out. I'm here at fuse 32. We can see here there are two circuits coming out of fuse 32. We've got circuit 9, which is a red and yellow, and circuit 8, which is a violet and a white. So backing up, let's just start with our red and yellow. We follow that one through, it leaves the page, goes to red and yellow, number 11. Next page. Red and yellow, number 11, turns into red and yellow, what is that, number 3? Turns into number 3 on the next page, okay. Red and yellow, number 3, runs across the page again, this is getting old. Turns into red and yellow, number 2. We're getting there, guys. Number 2, same story, runs across the page, red and yellow, 19. Finally, on our last page, we come down, we've got red and yellow 19, and that runs down to a splice 105, and that powers, looks like a vapor management valve at the left rear of the engine, AC clutch relay, interesting, and looks like there's another splice right over here, is splice 128. So AC clutch relay, so that's what's also powered by that fuse, and something about a vapor purge thing. Well, we know that's not going to work. Interestingly enough, the AC does not operate right now. I've got it commanded on, but it is not cooling, and I don't think the clutch is running. Let's go verify that real quick. And looking down in the hole, there's our compressor clutch face. It is not running. Although it should be. All right, looking at it from down below, again, we can see the compressor's not running. What I want to do is disconnect this connector. I want to remove the compressor from the circuit because there's potential that this compressor clutch is shorted, and that's what's taking down this circuit. So if that's the case, and I disconnect this compressor, the short will go away, and then the rest of the components on the circuit will begin to operate. Now, if I can maneuver myself properly, let's see what we can do about getting that guy disconnected. It's right there. Yeah, there she is. Just reach my fingies in there and see what we can do. All right. Become unclicked. There we go. All right. Compressor is now disconnected. Let's go double check our short. We might luck out and find out that it needs an AC compressor. That would be awesome. Okay, to make this easy, I've got fuse 32 probed with 2 of these wires. We got a blue and we got a yellow. Now the power probe is connected right here. There's our yellow and the blue. One of these is the hot side from the power supply. I think it's this one. Yeah, that's our hot side. Oh, look at that, 15 volts. This was our short side. All right, it's stalled and it looks like that short is still there. So the compressor is not the issue on that circuit. However, we're gonna leave that disconnected. Restart this thing. And we're gonna move on and find the next component on the list. Going off of that splice that we looked at, splice 105, next component is this vapor management valve at left rear of engine compartment. Let's go locate the vapor valve and we will disconnect that one next. And the survey says this unit right here is our vapor valve. We're gonna disconnect that, perhaps that is shorted. And let's go recheck our wire again. Okay, let's recheck the short again. Connecting the short side of the circuit to the meter. And we are grounded, no volts. Okay. So that's not the one either. Okay, so we know that it's not the clutch, it's not the vapor valve. Let's go over here to 128. There's this splice, and this splice breaks us off into, looks like 1, 2, 3 circuits, 37, 38, and 39. And those, yeah, see right here from splice 105, it powers splice 128. Splice 128 sends power off to 39, 38, and 37. Those are all red and yellows. So let's back up another page. 39, 38, and 37 reds and yellows. These are all running power to the variable camshaft solenoids. 1, 2, and where's the next one? 39, 38, 37. It also goes over here to the charge motion control valve at the rear of engine. I don't know what that is. Charge motion control valve. I'll have to look that up. Well, since everything on this circuit's taken down anyway, we can disconnect these. So we're going to locate these 2 connectors at the top of each valve cover. So let's go pull those things next. Yep, we're looking for these connectors right here. Those are the solenoid actuators for the VVT system. We'll disconnect those. We'll go recheck it. And negative, still short to ground. Okay, next item, which is on circuit 40. Coming back from our splice, circuit 40, red and yellow again. That's going to be power for our evap canister at the vent control solenoid at the back end of the tank. Let's go unplug that one next. Yeah, there she is right here. I'm down here under the spare tire on the back of the truck. Again, I'm disconnecting everything that is on this circuit that could be causing the short, and I'm trying to isolate the components. Let's get this guy off. Now I see why I found this truck with a dangling spare tire this morning. We had already tried to do this. I have to repeat said efforts. Oh, there's the, got it. We got the click and the unclick. Okay, let's go check the short again. Nope, vent canister is not it. Short is still there. All right, well, so we've got 2 circuits off of fuse 32, and we have eliminated the components off of circuit 9, I think with the exception of 1. Let's see, if we follow from our splice, we've already checked the AC clutch, vapor can, or both vapor valves. We went back to our splice pack, we followed the red, yellow, and red, yellow, out to our cam phasers, and we also followed this one, circuit 40, back to the evap canister vent valve. So that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. But we do have circuit 37 running in, and that is gonna power the charge motion control valve at the rear of the intake manifold. That's the little actuator assembly that runs the flaps inside the manifold. That's the last thing on this second leg of fuse 32. And what I mean by that is we were just checking out circuit 9 red and yellow. So we've got to check that charge air valve, and then if that is not it, we have to focus on circuit number 8, and that's a violet and white. Alrighty, so here's the dealio. The last component on that circuit is located way back yonder behind the intake manifold and down about 6 inches. I know from experience I cannot reach that connector. So in order for me to isolate that particular component, I'm gonna have to remove this intake. All right, so I went down that second leg that came off of that fuse, and I ended up unplugging the rear O2 sensors and the transmission tail shaft speed sensor, and that's all the other components that are on both of those 2 circuits off of fuse 32, except for that actuator motor in the back of this intake. And I cannot get enough purchase on it to get that connector removed. So I've got no choice. I gotta pull this intake out, or at least get all this stuff out of the way, just to try to get that connector disconnected. Again, the idea being, if I disconnect it and we find out that that component is the short, then having disconnected the component will stop blowing the fuse. But like I said, I've got to actually remove the connector, and I just can't do that right now, so we're gonna start pulling this thing apart. First things first, let's lose all the plumbing off the intake, and we're gonna pull this airbox assembly off of here and go from there. I'm gonna try to get this out of the way where I can reach back enough to unplug that connector, but it's farther down and kind of pointed like this way a little bit, so it's gonna be a little tough, but I'm gonna try. Gotta tell you, I did not see this coming when I started this job. Not at all. Unclick. Alright, come out of there. There we go. Alright, fellas, I got some of this stuff unplugged, and I was reaching around back there again, and I can actually get my my fingers on the plug for the unit. The problem is the relief, let's see if I can find one. Well, the little button that releases the plug, that is between the manifold and the little module that's bolted to it, and it's on this side. So I can get my finger on it, but not on the inside where the clip is to detach it. So I'm just wasting time and hurting myself, scraping up my hand trying to reach back there to get it. So I have no choice but to unbolt this manifold and pull it out. So that's what we're gonna do next. All right, everybody, we've got this thing mostly unbolted. The only thing holding it on right now is this fuel line connector right here. I sprayed it full of some penetrating lube and a little bit of high pressure air to knock all the dust out of that connector. Now all I've really got to do is wiggle that connector loose, stash the fuel line off to the side, and then I can start working on maneuvering this manifold out of position. It's not a very easy manifold to remove because it's actually very large and quite deep, I don't recall, but I think I'm going to have to remove the alternator as well to get this thing to come out. Like I said, this thing's pretty big. I don't know if I can squeeze it out of here or not. Yeah, it looks like there's no getting around this. The nader has to come out. Alright, I'm not going to remove this belt all the way. I just want to get it removed from the alternator, and then we'll just tuck it down out of the way. Hopefully it'll stay there and does not come off the rest of the pulleys. If you guys missed what was going on there, I'm trying to get this intake out, but it doesn't fit because it's super deep. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this alternator out. I've got the belt off. The intake is disconnected. Fuel injector connectors are all removed. The vacuum lines are all removed. I just need to get these obstructions out of the way so I can sneak this manifold out. So I'm going to try to do it with just by pulling the alternator. I may have to end up pulling this coolant passage right here too. I've done these before, but I don't remember how deep I have to tear into them to get this out. And see how that works out for us. Again, I would like to avoid breaking into the cooling system on this if possible. This is a whole lot of work. Gravity. This is a whole lot of work just to test for a short, is what it is. I dropped that bolt. I'm gonna have to find that. Bolt gravity. Oh, that's a tight one. Unclick. I don't think you guys can see. There's a bolt under this hose. That second one, unclick. Oh, that was silent. Oh, and yes, I have the battery disconnected. So this power wire for the nader is not a danger. Oh, hot! Hot, hot, hot. Woo! Let's see, some plastic stuff. That's nasty. Let's get that out of here. That's only going to serve to get caught on something in a moment. Now, can I squeeze you out? Yes. Kinda. Doo-doo-doo. Come on now, we're almost out. There's like something in the back corner hanging it up. Yes, I am aware that I'm supposed to remove that coolant crossover passage between the two cylinder heads to remove this manifold. Keep in mind, I'm just trying to diagnose, and I have not even found that short yet. I'm about 90% positive that I will not be able to properly install this manifold without first removing that coolant crossover. But I didn't want to spill coolant everywhere just for a diag. I know this comes out. I've done this before. Here we go. Now we're moving. Now we're moving. Yeah. All right, guys. So I've been reaching in. I got it. I unplugged the little motor module device here that's in question. I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of this disconnected, and we're going to pull this intake out all the way. That way I can clean up all the dirt and stuff that's in here. But I've got the suspected component disconnected. Pull this out. All right, so let's see if we're finished diagnosing this. So this is the last connector for that charge air control motor that's on the back of the intake. That device is this component right here, and what this thing does is when actuated it moves, and it will actuate these little flapper valves inside of the intake to close off intake flow or to open it. This may be our component. Let's go hook everything back up and then retest it again and see if this is it. So I have pulled the fuel pump fuse, so when I key this on, it won't pump fuel. We can see we've got virtually no power here. Let's go ahead and key it on and we'll check it out. So, key on. That one. Our power should have returned. There's our power. Now looky here, this one is no longer grounded. When we had it keyed on with everything else disconnected with the exception of that little motor, this was a ground. So we might be getting somewhere. Let's find a good fuse here. So that's our load side with our component on it. This is our power side. We'll verify that one more time. And if we connect that to our load side, we're not blowing our fuse and we're not losing voltage. Before, we could not do this. See that? So our fuse is now operating normally. Let's go take that motor off and then connect that motor, and we'll see if it blows up this fuse right here. All right, let's go pull that actuator off the intake so we can plug it back in. I already disconnected the linkage here and here. Hope you don't mind. I'm trying to save time. All right. Let's pull this thing out of here. I think this is our electronically failed unit. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that fuse so we're no longer powering that circuit. Then we're going to go plug this unit in. Then we will plug the fuse back in, and if we witness the fuse open, then that means that this component right here is the short, and will have to be replaced. And I really hope it is, because I put a lot of effort into this so far, and I'd hate for my efforts to be in vain, so to speak. All right, we'll plug back in. Let's go back to the cabin. Okay, we're gonna do this. We'll switch to my phone again to get a better zoom in picture. Let's check this out one more time. So we got, let's see what we got here. We have ground on that side, so we were not grounded on this circuit until we plugged in that little motor. And we've got battery power on this side, and this fuse is good. Battery power there too. Let's watch this fuse blow up. Here it is. That was it. Oh, look at that. I started melting my leads. It didn't blow the fuse. I started lighting up the leads on fire in there. That's Jesus. All right. Well, we found the short. I thought it was going to be slick and capture a blown up fuse, and it melted my little needles instead. Dang, that scared me. Okay, I have just learned that these little needle pins are not rated for 15 amps. These are like 5 amp pins or something like that, because that 15 amp fuse didn't let go. So anyway, we're going to blow a fuse up. We're going to do that right now. Let me find the one that I had. There it is. There's my fuse. We're going to plug this fuse in, and we're going to watch it blow up. I will make this proved. Uh-oh, I need light. We need lumens. Can't see. Plus, I need to get a well-lit view on that the area where the fire just started, so you guys know I didn't like melt and ruin a guy's fuse box in here. We're just looking good. Let's plug this guy in, watch it blow up. If we can see, might not be able to see that actual moment. Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll key it off. There. We'll key it off. Plug it in. Please plug in. There, got it. Now we'll key it on, and then it should open that fuse. Here it comes, key on. That's it. We proved it out. Well, we found the fault, found the short. Let's go disconnect it, turn it in, tell them that's what we need. Actually, you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this one. It's getting a little bit late in the day. I've gone about as far as I can get into this so far. We're gonna have to get approval to actually make the repair on this. We're gonna have to order those parts and everything like that. So it looks like this is just gonna end up being a round 2 later on in the future. So that being said, I'm closing this one out for the day. Hope you enjoyed this rather in-depth and lengthy and invasive diagnostic process. I hope you guys understood why I was unplugging all of the components that were on those circuits in order to free up or to sort out what was shorting out to ground. Hope you're not too mad at me for almost setting the car on fire. Didn't see that one coming. These things happen, that's all I could say. So that being said, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, you know the drill. Let me know about that by tapping that like button down below. That's what lets me and YouTube know that I've done a good job here. So again, and as always, thank you for watching, and most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. Beginning overnight engine protection protocol procedures operations now. Just gonna double stuff these towels. Keep the dirt out of the intakes. I know what you're thinking. There we go. And forward powering down. Pew.